Okay, it's live.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm back. Skating PJ back here. Do you want me to hold it for a second, Paul? And then you can look and see?
Yeah.
Here, I'll hold it. Here we go. I hope everyone's having a great night. It's another Facebook Live. For some reason, I was sideways, but you know what? I've never looked better. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm happy to have everybody along again. And my producer over there has just gone to sort of see if he can see if I'm right side up or sideways. Which way, Paul? Am I right side up?
Yeah.
Well, that's good news, don't you think?
Yes.
You don't really think so, but that's okay. Oh, my video ended. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a shout out to all of my skating buddies out there who are doing such a great job of covering the sport. Ryan Stevens, for retweeting the fact that I was going to do a Facebook Live tonight. If you don't know Ryan, you need to. Skateguard blog post. Go find him. All kinds of historical stuff. Jackie Kwong congratulated me on hitting 10,000 Twitter followers. Paul, I'm pretty excited.
That's great. Everyone's saying hi. Craig, Ryan.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Ryan.
Joanne.
Hi, Joanne.
McCarthy.
There we go. Joanne McCarthy. I know a few Joannes. Then Bev Smith has been writing some great stuff. And of course, Ted Flett, Golden Skate. So whoever you're into, make sure you follow them because you know what? We're doing this all just for fun. I have kind of a fun story that came to me through one of my mysterious Japanese blogger friends. And she reported to me that during the CBC broadcast, during Skate America, they were wondering what the words of the coach Kaori Sakamoto was saying when she was sending Kaori out to skate. Coach's name, by the way, is Sonoko Nakano. Anyway, according to Asahi.com, the coach's words were, "You don't have to come off the rink if you don't do a clean skate." Of course, she was joking. But you know what? As a coach or a skater out there, you've probably heard coaches say those kinds of things. So I think that that's absolutely kind of a hoot. So thank you for sharing that with me, my Japanese friend, and everybody else. Tell me what you've been up to this week. It's going to be a very interesting skating week coming up, not this weekend, but next. So Paul, we're going into the Grand Prix Final, but we've got to tell everybody, next week, our Facebook Live is going to be same bat station, same bat channel. I may or may not be sideways. It just kind of depends. But we're going to have it on Tuesday night. Is that right, Paul?
Yes.
Paul's saying yes. You know why? Because Paul and I have been invited to a screening of Tonya. The Tonya Harding story. I can't wait. It got great reviews. Paul's a real film aficionado, and Tonya got great reviews from TIFF. And it's opening, I think, later on in December. And as a skating person, how could you not want to go see Tonya? So that's what Paul and I are doing next Wednesday night. I have a full report. You look dangerously like you're coming a little bit closer for me, Paul. Why are you doing that? I'm just curious. You're not going to tell me?
No.
You're just going to stay.
My arms are just getting tired. That's all.
Do you want me to give you a break and hold on to myself again?
No.
Okay. So.
Everyone's excited you're going to see the movie.
You are too.
Mm-hmm.
Paul's coming as my +1.
Nomi Arsenault?
Yeah. Hi, Noemi. How are you? She's excited about it?
Yes.
It's going to be great. I mean, it's supposed to be really well done. So Margot Robbie is playing the lead character as far as I understand. Now, I don't know if the rest of you out there were around in 1994 at U.S. Nationals when Nancy Kerrigan got whacked in the knee by Tonya Harding's then husband, Jeff Gillooly. So those of us who were working at skating events, myself included, I was very early in my announcing career. Anyway, we all kind of wondered what was going to happen because up until then, honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of security. So it really sort of shocked everybody into kind of a way of thinking, like if it happened in the U.S., like is it going to happen with us, like Canadians, which was the following week. So it was just very, very interesting. So that's kind of interesting. Now, Kurt Browning on my Facebook Live with him in last weekend, he was saying that he thought that there's a possibility, he doesn't know anything, but he's just speculating on strategy for the Grand Prix final. If whether or not Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron and Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, if one of those two teams is not going to go to Grand Prix final and just wait for the big head-to-head at the Olympic Games. I hadn't thought about it before. But, if somebody's slightly injured or if somebody's, I don't know what, I just would have assumed that everybody would want to meet up before the Olympic Games to kind of set the stage for February. But
do you think that it's better to get out there as much as you can, or to hold back and wait for it?
From what I understand, and I mean, Kurt knows all about this kind of stuff. I actually don't, because no one ever asked me to compete anywhere extra. So I think that there's the chance that whichever team wins the Grand Prix final, does that mean that they're the leaders going into the Olympic Games? Is it a consolation prize? Where are we at with that? I actually just wait for the skaters to get on the ice, and then that's where the competition takes place, is when they are in the same building. So I never really see necessarily that the results carry over from one event to the next, but lots of people do. So I just thought it was a really interesting kind of thing to think about. The other interesting thing, is anybody else sort of weighing in on that, Paul?
Yes, people, Naomi
Yeah.
is she's saying, if VM not going, Virtue Moore going to the, I don't agree with that strategy. Joseph Stewart says, not going head to head mattered more in the old system when dance teams got slotted. I say battle it out and see who has more work to do. Craig says, could they possibly hold back and hide changes to a program? Intrigue.
I like that, Craig. And Joseph, I'm with you. Just get out there and skate, because you're not going to have perfect skates all the time. And you know what David Pelche said, which was great? It doesn't really matter, because what matters is February.
Well, that's what I was going to, is that the Olympics is kind of its own thing.
Its own animal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter if you are the leading face of figure skating going into the Olympic Games. If you happen to have a bad day or a bad couple of days.
And how many times have we seen, literally over history, where somebody comes out of nowhere and wins a silver medal or gold?
Oksana Bayul, Shizuka Arakawa, Evan Lysacek to a lesser extent, but he certainly wasn't. I mean, Plushenko was the favorite for the 2010 Olympic Games. So I think the Grand Prix final is just another place to sort of get out there and compete. Now, other people were also talking about the fact that it is so far away. Not for the Japanese skaters, of course, because it's in Japan, but for North American skaters and European skaters, it's a bit of a hike when people are trying to prepare for their national championships. Ashley Wagner had a great point, and she said that she wants to compete at the Olympic Games and wants to have her training be focused on that, because she actually has to qualify for the Olympic team. So anything that isn't focused in that way is a bit of a distraction.
Do you think that people changing strategy mid-season is an indication of sums up, or?
I think, we've seen lots of skaters over the course of time who have decided as they get a little bit further along that a program isn't serving them in the way that they thought it might. Jamie Soleil and David Pelche returning back to Love Story. I just read this week that Karen Chen has gone back to her two previous programs. Caitlin Osmond had a gorgeous short program and then decided to return to her short program from last year, just feeling more comfortable. So if there was ever a time to hedge the bets in your favor, the Olympic season is the time to do it, as far as I'm concerned. So can I move on with another question, Paul?
Of course.
Yevgenia Medvedeva, there is some talk with her broken foot that she might go to the Grand Prix final. I would say no. I think she should just stay home and rest and be as prepared and as fit as she can be for the Olympic Games. That's what I think.
You need a foot for skating.
Just the one. And it's her picking foot. So that would be sore. All of it's sore, frankly, if it's broken. Don't you think, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Paul, remember last week when I was just talking to myself in my real living room with my Christmas tree and my dog Garth sitting on my lap?
Yes.
It's nice to have a real person in the room with me. So what do you guys think about Medvedeva? Do you think if she's got the all clear from the doctor, she should, or do you think she should rest? Did it die?
No, it just flipped around and went on to me all of a sudden.
Paul's always looking for attention.
Naomi says, I agree with you about Evgenia.
Yevgenia, she's got good.
Sorry,
yeah, that's okay. I'm the announcer.
Yeah.
You're just the producer. So are you going to try and flip it back around so people
No,
don't
I
get
just
you again?
accidentally hit something, that's all.
So that's kind of an interesting thing to think about is, if she has the ability to compete, should she? I think if I were her coach, if I were her federation, I would be saying, take a little bit of time off because Russian nationals are coming up as well. And it's just a lot of pressure. These skaters are under a whole lot of pressure. Well,
Joseph said she could go to the Grand Prix with one leg and one arm and still win.
Well, especially when the one arm's over her head, right, Joseph? I mean, let's face facts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the lay of the land as far as skating is concerned this week.
What did the Grand Prix is over? What was your any impressions, general impressions?
It was wacky. When you have a season in which three of the men who've been leaders sort of for these many years, I'm talking about Javier Fernandez, Yuzuru Hanyu, and Patrick Chan, when you have those guys who aren't even qualified for the Grand Prix final, I think that's a little bit strange. So I also think that when they were at Skate America, I love the fact that both Jason Brown and Adam Rippon just did a terrific job. Not Jason Brown, sorry, Nathan Chen and Adam Rippon did a terrific job at Skate America. And Kurt and David, again, were talking about that building and the fact that there are often bugs that fall onto the ice. And there were shots of Adam Rippon with a Kleenex picking up the bugs. So that was kind of a little bit of a strange event. But the fact also, too, I don't know if you saw this, Paul, but Daniel Samohin from Israel dislocated his shoulder on a fall in his free program. And then a couple of skaters later, Adam Rippon did his quadlets and partially dislocated his shoulder but popped it back in. So that was, as you know, the subject kind of my blog this week was just like, I couldn't quite wrap my brain around it. So it just tells you the kind of force that is on the body on those unbelievable quads.
Are you going to be at Canadians? Naomi asks.
Yes, I am. I just got the nod that I will be. So I'm very excited about that. I can't wait to see what's going to happen because as far as I'm concerned, nobody's really got a lock on anything. I think that I can predict who I think is going to take the title, but it's going to be very interesting to see who qualifies for the Olympic Games, World Juniors, and of course World Championships and Four Continents. I'm also interested in seeing who will go to Four Continents, and of course Four Continents and Junior Worlds and the Olympics are all going to be covered on CBC, so it'll be fun to sort of go be at Canadians to see who are going to be the players in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you going to read anything else?
I'm just listening. Sorry, I was reading. Yes.
Read all the words, Paul, not just the ones you like.
Any word on what's going on with
Patrick Chan?
P. Chitty?
I have heard.
Joseph was asking.
Joseph, yes, I have heard that Patrick will be at Canadians, and he has every intention of competing at the Olympic Games. Phew. Because I still think, my hair, I did it the wrong way. Sorry. Phew. Which I think is great because I want Patrick, for him, to be able to finish out the season in the way that he would like to. So I think that that's just great news. So fingers crossed that it all turns out the way that it's supposed to. I have heard that Nam Nguyen has changed coaches, going to, I believe, Robert Burke. So there'll be a new face at the boards with Nam Nguyen at the Canadian Figure Skating Championships. Roman Sadowski was the highest ranked Canadian at Skate America. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of how this all pans out. Only 2 men going to the Olympic Games from Canada. So who's that going to be? Presumably Patrick Chan is one, but who is that other man? I mean, is it Keegan Messing? Is it who's performed very well over the course of the season? Is it going to be Kevin Reynolds? I was going to call him Ryan Reynolds. That would have been wrong.
They look alike.
They do look the same, and they're both lovely, I'm sure. Although I know Kevin better. Is it going to be Nam Nguyen? Is it going to be Liam Fierce? Is it going to be? I have heard that Alaj Balde. Yay! Mm-hmm. So I think it's all good for skating. Have I missed anybody?
No, I think that's what do we? Well, why don't we?
Roman Sadowski.
Yeah. Why don't we? There's a. I got a question here, but then maybe we can come back around to nationals. You could go through some people.
Okay.
Like the other disciplines. Craig asks, thoughts on strategies for the Olympic team event? Will the federations change what they did for Sochi?
That's a good question. And of course, what we're talking about is who skates the short, who skates the free. So I think, I don't know. I mean, I think that, it's one of Canada's chances to win gold. So I think that it's going to be best foot forward. My impression is that if I was going to be doing the strategy, I would have Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer probably to do the short and the free. I don't know about the rest of them. What do you guys think? I mean, that's going to be very interesting to sort of see how that all shakes out too. I still haven't quite reconciled myself to the fact that the team event is an Olympic event. I know that it's amazing and that it's popular and that the skaters really like it. It hasn't quite dropped into my head yet. So I think about the Olympic gold medals as being in the individual disciplines, and I think about the team event, although important, it sort of doesn't register first in mind. But I think by this Olympics, I probably will.
People seem to like Nick Nadeau.
Oh, Nick! I knew I forgot somebody. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, Kevin Reynolds. Joanne McCarthy said Kevin Reynolds has been there before, so he has the experience.
Yes, he does.
I think so, yeah. He's good.
But after his surgery, what we've noticed is the fact that he can't seem to get the same hang time in the air to be able to fully clean up the landing edges on those quads. So he keeps getting called for under rotations. So maybe with a bit more strength, maybe with a bit more time, that'll make the difference. I love Kevin Reynolds. He's such a nice kid.
So let's do a quick lightning round. Ladies.
For
Canadians.
Title?
Just who, like to say Olympic team. You don't have to stick to these. I know you. Just
Gee, thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be Caitlin Osmond, Gabrielle Delman, those two for sure. And then the third spot, I still think it's going to go to Elaine Chartrand. But it could go a couple of other skaters, but that's the strongest person I think in my mind.
Paris. That's a tough one. That's a tricky one.
It is tricky. So Megan DeHamel and Eric Radford, I think, are going to take the Paris title. We have 3 teams who can go to the Olympic Games. I think that it's clear that Dylan Moskovich and Lubov Ilyusheshkina have been having some problems in competition, but they are certainly contenders. And so the next spot becomes between Kirsten Moore-Towers and Michael Marinaro, or Julianne Seguin and Charlie Bilodeau. Julianne and Charlie, I think, are an enormously talented team. They were off a good chunk of the season last season, so I'm not 100% sure that they are completely back yet. So I want to see a little bit more from them, and Canadians may be the place to do it. Kirsten and Michael just seem to have settled into doing well what they know how to do, so I'm really anxious for the pairs event, actually.
Dance.
Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. For the win! For the win, Alex. I was pretending you're Alex Trebek. Okay, Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. I think that they're going to be the winners. 3 ice dance teams going to the Olympic Games. I think it's going to be Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Pogier. And they're going to be joined by Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier.
Wow.
I didn't do the men yet.
Oh, well, you sort of talked about it earlier.
I know, but I don't know what's going to happen in the men. It's going to be an on-the-day kind of competition, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of talent. Lots of talent.
Yeah.
Any final questions from anybody?
No, I think we're good.
We're at the end?
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul and I are going to Tonya next week. Maybe I will make him be my special guest on Facebook Live. Not this coming Wednesday, because we're going to be on Tuesday this week, people. But the following Wednesday, we're going to tell you all about it. Thanks so much for joining me. Happy skating.